Hello, hi, this is Bennett Santana with the GoldMind Business Academy, and I'd like to just thank you participating in my morning podcast here. First and foremost, I just wanted to share with you, I just want to be a guide for you related to faith, purpose, and success. And so my personal motto is never give up and always build up. And why do I share that with you? Because, hey, I've been in business for 32 years, and it hasn't been always easy. And in fact, when I first started out, I was making tons of money, almost printing money on a copier, it seemed like. And then these business cycles hit. I wasn't prepared for it. I ended up losing everything, going through some very hard times. And so one of the things I just wanted to share with people out there is that when you do go through something like that, is the fact of the matter is don't give up, all right? And just keep on building, and things will change. And so that's the purpose of this podcast, to kind of share some of my background, my stories, and help others really live a life of purpose, a life of success. And so in today's episode, we're going to just kind of dive into some connections between wisdom, words, and how they shape our business. And so, first and foremost, I very simply, and I just encourage this for everyone, just read the Proverbs by the day. And so, it's a simple, very quick thing that you could do in the morning in your time of reflection. Like, for instance, today would be Proverbs 4, and I tend to walk through the Proverbs like if I'm walking toward a house. And, before I get there, I'm going to walk through the neighborhoods, and I'm going to basically walk through the front lawn and maybe, walk to the back, and there's a garden there, but, and I partake the house before you enter. And that's how Proverbs is to me, and sometimes, because I'm always searching for some little element that I could either capture, meditate on in the day, and maybe share with some others. And so, what an interesting thing that today I read in Proverbs 4. It says, "Get wisdom, get understanding, and do not forget my words or turn away from them." And so, that's really something that really caught my eye today. Was that he also taught me and said to me, "Let your heart retain my words, keep my commandments and live, get wisdom and get understanding. Do not forget nor turn away from the words of my mouth. Do not forsake her, for she will preserve you. Love her, and she will keep you." And that's interesting, because wisdom here, it's a her, it's feminine. And this brings out the masculine and the feminine side of God. Wisdom is a feminine, is a her. And it says, love her. And it's interesting that if you ever wanted to love another woman, this is a perfect time to love wisdom. And it's okay. If you're married or you're, single, male or female, you could love another woman. And it basically says, love her, love wisdom. And that's kind of interesting that it would be put that way, personified, this concept of wisdom. But one of the things is that you do need wisdom for success. You do need wisdom when it comes to managing your people, managing your own thoughts, guiding yourself through the day, and then obviously, what to do when you're really faced with some critical decisions, and obviously true success too. You need a lot of wisdom, a lot of wisdom to thrive. And so that was sort of the garden talk, right? It says, "Embrace her, and she'll promote you, and she will bring you honor when you embrace her, and she will place on your head an ornament of grace, a crown of glory she will deliver to you." And so it's an interesting thing that you get rewarded as you embrace this. You get rewarded as you embrace wisdom. And even I remember when I was working at a large petroleum company called Amoco. I didn't even know God. I was very far away from God, but I had a little Bible. I kept it underneath the seat of my car, and I would pull out the Proverbs and read one by the day. And just, it's something that just encourage you just to do, just to capture that wisdom that's in those those scriptures. And so if we sort of pass through the garden and walk down the path, you'll end up at verse 23. And verse 23 is something that really connected with me, because I was just thinking how words affect our perspective in life, how words affect our mood, how we affect other people's mood. Like, I was working with someone yesterday, and it seemed like the glass was always half empty, and I'm like, well, why don't we think of it as a glass half full, versus always saying, hey, this might fail because of this. Hey, why don't we say it's most likely to succeed, right? And so you have to catch yourself and kind of evaluate the words you're saying, because in Proverbs 4:23 it says, keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it springs the issue of life. And when we look at heart in the Bible, it's not that physical heart that you think about pumping, or it's really, back then the heart was the center of all mental, emotional activity. So it's your will, your emotions, your mind. And so that's what the heart, it says to keep your heart. You got to work on keeping it with all diligence. And so for out of it springs, there's a spring like a fountain. Your words in your life are like a fountain, the issues of life. And a lot of times we do have issues, but there it's basically saying it's what comes out of life. It's the issues of life. Life happens. It says, put away from you a deceitful mouth, and put away a perverse lips from you. And basically, they basically mean the same thing. It's perversity, meaning put away this deceitful mouth. And so, like, you may walk into your office and say to yourself, I'll never succeed. Oh, or you know what, this market is just too competitive. And if you start to believe that, if you start to say that to yourself, you will manifest what you're talking about. You will bring into your life with that situation, because words are powerful, and they affect your conscious will affect your subconscious. And so, I remember my uncle in Puerto Rico. He was my mother's brother, and he was fit as you could be, full head of hair at like 72. I mean, with curly hair and a very nice. This guy probably had like a six-pack at 72. And I remember him sitting there having a cup of coffee with me. We're just outside enjoying the beautiful weather, all the greenery of the mountains. And he said to me, hey, I'm going to die this year. I'm like, he goes, I'm not going to last. This is my last year. I'm like, whoa, this is your last year? Really? Right? You were pretty healthy. No, he goes, this is my last year. And you know what it was? That was his last year. He passed away before the year ended. And so we have to be careful what we say, because these are declarations as a king. And so, you know how a king made a declaration, it wasn't changeable, right? It wasn't the king made that declaration, it stood. And we have to realize that we're all kings and priests. Even a little child, right? You got to treat them with honor, because we're talking royalty here, right? Royalty, the homeless person, royalty. And so these are things that gotta just kind of keep in mind of those words. And so, what would be better to say? Is it it's better for you to say I declare I'm building a thriving business that impacts lives. And that's the one thing I want to share with you. You gotta guard your heart, right? Put away from these perverse lips that you talk about. And it says, let your eyes look straight ahead and your eyelids right before you. You know what? That's about vision. As I always say, vision is leadership is about vision, action, and mindset. And so they, basically say the leader is always the visionary, right? But you have to, yes, you do have to see the vision. You do have to see the progress toward the future, but you got to also declare it. You got to also share it. You got to also believe it. And so, I mean, there's some simple techniques. When I go into a sales meeting, right before the meeting, I learned through, many sales classes that I've taken that you got to prepare yourself mentally when you walk in. And I share this with all my employees. I share this with my daughters when we're walking in to a sales meeting. I'll say, I'm the best and I love to sell. I'm the best and I love to sell. I'm the best and I love to sell. Say that again. You start to feel it. You start to believe it. I'm the best and I love to sell. I'm the best and I love to sell. I'm the best and you just repeat it after you. When you're standing in that elevator, getting ready to meet with that client, you say that. And you see how, the jitters will go away, how you'll have that confidence, and you walk in there knowing you're the best, and you just love to sell. And so that's something, that you could just start to use, to start to articulate. There's other things that I'll say, these are kind of mantras that you speak to yourself. One that I always say to you, I have the faith of David, I have the boldness, or the boldness of David and the wisdom of Solomon. I'll say those kind of things just to, just kind of perk myself to that day. And so so that's the one thing. There's a very strong power that you have, and it's the power in your tongue. So, the three practical steps that you should have is really affirmation. Begin each day with a positive declaration about your business. Today, I will operate with wisdom, integrity, and my business will prosper. Write that down. Today, I will operate with wisdom and integrity, and my business will prosper. My business will prosper. My business will prosper. Second, make encouragement. Make it a habit of uplifting words to your team and your clients. And a little encouragement creates loyalty and inspires greatness. And so that's that just little positive thing that you would say, hey, you know what, you're doing a great job. And, I love you being part of this team, and just kind of lift them up. And we're going to prosper here. This business is going to prosper. I'm glad you're part of this team. And so you use your articulation, and you start declaring things over your business. Start declaring things over your employees. Start declaring things over situations. These things will turn. I will tell you, when I first started my business, I did a tape. I found a tape so when I first started on my business, I had to sell my house. I moved to like a little remote area in Crete, Illinois. A friend of mine's house, he had 6 acres, 10 acres. And I said, hey, can I, I'm starting the business. Can I live in your guest house? And can I live there for free? And what I'll do, I'll be your gardener. And he agreed to it because it was all the work. And so, I would cut his grass. It would take 6 hours to cut his grass, right? That's how I paid the rent. And I'm there, driving down the road, and I see this rummage sale, and I end up finding a tape series from Tony Robbins, one of his first tape series. And one of the things that he worked on there was limiting beliefs and what we actually say about ourselves. And one of the things that I used to say to myself is that, because I couldn't speak English, Spanish correctly, I wasn't going to be a success. And that tape series, it worked on those things that I would talk to myself about, because that's how self-talk is important. You got to deal with the self-talk. And he said, what you do is you reverse it. And so what I said, because I speak Spanish, I actually have, double the vocabulary than the average person. And that was going to be making me a success. So I worked through all these negative beliefs that I have, these little negative words, and I switched them around. And that was one big key that helped me start my business, because you have to have a mind shift in your, mentally to start a business. There's all kinds of things that will trap us, but one of the things is what what we've been, in a sense, programmed, right, over life and through words, right? And I meet a lot of people that because of words that were spoken to them are holding them back. And it's like that example where there's a piranha that eats these goldfish, and piranha would just eat the goldfish, but they put a piece of glass in between them. And then after a while, that piranha got tired of hitting that glass. They took that glass out, and that piranha wouldn't even eat that goldfish. And so this is where the words will hold us back. And so that's where you got to guard your heart. You got to guard that with all diligence. For out of it springs the issues of life. Put away from you a deceitful mouth. Put perverse lips far from you. Let your eyes look straight and your eyelids look right before you. Ponder the path of your feet and let all your ways be established. And so this is something that will help you be established. And so practical steps that you could take away from today is really affirmation. Today I will operate in wisdom and integrity, and my business will prosper. Encouragement, encourage others. Guard your heart. Guard your heart. And so as you go about your business today, remember the power of the tongue. And I basically ask you, choose life. Speak life. Build up others. Declare success over your journey. And I'll leave you with this. What you speak in the world becomes your reality. So speak wisely and unlock your gold mind. And so I want to thank you for being part of this. Again, next time, never give up and always build up. I want to just encourage you to go to my YouTube page, Bennett Santana on YouTube, and subscribe. We're going to be, in the future, just going to let you know, we're going to be doing some weekly webinars. And I'm going to be sharing a lot of Thrive, Scale, Transform, Scale, and Thrive material. And I'm looking forward. I'm so excited about what's going to be coming up. And I just want to thank you so much. And again, never give up and always build up. Thanks again.